Oh boy, this is the second time I make this cosplay. Remember when I said I was thinking of remaking this gown? And then I said, nah, I probably won't. Well, I did. And I'm so glad I did. And what we are making is ball gown Casca from Berserk. Yes. At the end of the video, I'll show you guys a side-by-side of, you know, the old one and the new one. Maybe not this, like this. Now, for those of you guys keeping up with the backlog saga, backlog in general, not counting this video, 6 videos. 6 of them. So, cosplay and historical adequacy. It's a trip. This gown has a back that resembles a 1770s robe à l'anglaise. But in searching for screenshots for you guys, I might have noticed a 0.2 second frame in the ball gown scene where it might actually be a sackback gown, but whatever. Anyways, the front closure also looks like this 1770s robe à l'anglaise. And the sleeves, some kinda Tudor era, you know, something or other. Now, another thing about this gown is the print. The print is pretty unique. If you're new here, this isn't the first time I've encountered a unique print. So, what do I do when there's a unique print? A bit more extra, and add to the hours this would take. And this one is no different. Except this is like way worse because there is so much fabric. I'd also be lying to you if I told you I knew what these dots mean. I guess that's what you could call temporary shorthand. Either way, they're just meant to show me where to align the fabric in the hoop as it pertains to the acetate grid, and oh lord, I will try not to be that stale for the rest of the video. I digitized these in PE design based on what I could make out from the reference image, with creative liberties, of course. Okay, the blue dots are definitely spacing between the quadrants. Oh, fun fact, my phone just lit up when I said that because I said the word okay. You know how McDonald's employees probably hear the various beeps from work while they're sleeping at night? I was definitely in that boat, except replace the beeps with the embroidery machine's delightful roar. Well, while all that was going on, I might as well make myself useful and get started on the petticoat layer. So I grabbed what was left of my mom's old curtains, and of course there wasn't enough continuous fabric, so I had to piece some of it together. To avoid using an overlock, I French seamed this part. And of course, the largest continuous piece is prioritized for the front, where it will, you know, be seen. The petticoat was composed of 2 large rectangles seamed at the sides, and about 10 inches, give or take, is seam ripped. That'll be clear as to why in a little bit. Time to take one edge of each of those rectangles and gather them up for the waistband. Speaking of the waistband, the machine is used to connect the back of it, but the front is going to be hand sewn. Anything other than a straight seam that would be visible is going to be hand sewn on this project. I really make a better door than a window here, but I think you can kind of get how this works. Now, all it needs is a hem. My mom's old curtains have truly served me well. I used them to line the inside of the vest I did for the Joker commission too. And there was a lot less hand sewing going on that project. Like a lot less. But enough of that boring skirt, yeesh, let's pattern the bodice. I'm going to be using this kinda crappy corset I made for the past Casca ball gown. I can't really use a pattern out of my real cool patterns of fashion books. Until I make stays someday. And you know what? Not too bad for a clear wrap duct tape pattern, am I right? This is the stiffest fabric I had that didn't belong stapled to a couch, so it would have to do. Also, I don't know if you saw in the background, but the golden cotton fabric is still being embroidered. Adjustments are made, and I'm good to assemble. I really hope the dress history people don't come for me on this one. I'm a cosplayer, so my process is likely pretty different than what it should be on my, you know, not so historical project. I was actually referencing a Sosteen video while I was making this, and I will link her in the description. For the raw edges, I'm using some cotton twill tape to make into boning channels. A large enough slice of the gold fabric is done and ready to be used on the back of the gown. I rate the outfit I'm wearing in this shot a 2 out of 10. I had to pleat the back of it, and of course since there's embroidery, it was actually pretty easy to center it all. Took some doing and some pinning on the dress form to be sure, and heck, I even ironed it onto the dress form. I didn't want to do this part by hand, and since the thread was really invisible, I just went by machine. Oh boy, would you look at that big ol' focus. I'm matching this to the maroon back piece with the boning. This piece will connect onto the skirt and the bodice, so a 90-degree gets cut out here and matched in length to the other panel that was now done embroidering too. Now this is about to start looking like something, so I was pretty stoked at this point to seam these panels up. More pleats, of course. This isn't gathered like the petticoat, so it did take more effort to get nice and even. And now that they're ready, the front of the bodice is next. With some pattern matching, of course. This was a super exciting project for me because since I got into watching dress history videos, I have really been wanting to make a historical project. And this is close. Some of this is going to be folded over the maroon edge, but some of it is going to be basted so it doesn't move. A little hand sewing, and then the side seams get sewn to the back. I don't do the whole ball gown cosplay thing or the cute character thing. I'm really not sure if I could pull it off. I don't even really know if Casca falls under that category. Well, it's the closest I've ever came anyways. It's not that I don't want to. It's just that other things keep coming up. After a good ironing, the excess from the top can be trimmed off now that I knew where the shoulders should be seamed. More twill tape to cover up the raw seams, but not all of them are boning channels. There was a lot of putting everything on, holding and pinning things, removing, adjusting, putting it all back on, involved in this build. And you know what? That's kind of the way it should be, and that's something I'm trying to implement more in my future builds. But before the skirt could be fully attached to the bodice, Casca has this white frilly thing emerging from the two. So I cut a weird-shaped rectangle that would taper. Sewn, inside-outed, gathered, folded onto itself, and secured with a machine stitch. Now I can pin it in and sew it down. But not all the way at the front because I'm still not done with the front edge. Speaking of the front edge, the maroon part of the fabric is going to get turned into a front lacing closure. Both sides are going to get 2 rows of boning with space in between for hand-sewn eyelets. That can wait though, since I didn't want to do it on stream. Because of the embroidery, I want to add a facing to the edges of my skirt panel. The underside of embroidery can be kinda ugly. So what do? We cover it up, that's right. I didn't want to add extra bulk though, so this is not French seamed. Oh nice, this is when my bedroom was filled with clown things. It no longer stands as such. But I finished all the hand-sewn eyelets in time to continue the next day on stream. I wasn't too sure how to connect the skirt to the bodice since there was all this stuff in the way, but I ended up settling with more twill tape. Oh, by the way, remember the Griffith making of video? I also made the Guts costume, but I never recorded the process. There he is though, and there's Junk enjoying his nice dress form tent, one of his favorite workshop occurrences. Oh, I was measuring the hem, by the way. A pretty wide ruffle border goes along the edge, so I prepared that piece as well. There's no embroidery on it, since I wanted this edge to drape properly and look uninterrupted. More gathering was in order, and once it was gathered to the correct length, I added some red cord with my cording foot. Okay, so I guess I lied about not using the machine on anything other than a straight stitch. Oh, okay, hold your horses. That looks terrible. I switched the gold thread out for some matching red, and it was fine. Which I should have done to begin with. Have you noticed what's missing? Now, I know Casca's got some sweet guns going for her, but we need to cover them up with sleeves. These sleeves really messed with me the first time I made this cosplay, but not this time. I don't want more than one seam in the top layer, so the lining becomes my pattern. And having a lining makes hemming the sleeves invisibly pretty easy. The top is basted, and now I can add a matching ruffle to the one on the waist. I just stitch it to the lining as well. I want to be able to raise my arms, so the arm size on this are small, and the swoop from the sleeves isn't too deep. In addition to that, I've got some gathering going on at the top of the shoulder. That was the easy part. Guys, do I have wide shoulders? Are my shoulders wide? The pained puffball, cheese puffball is the scary part. It went horribly last time, but this ain't last time, partner. I'm widening the top of the sleeve, gathering my mom's curtains to the unwidened shape, pinning and basting it to the sleeve, fabric gluing the other edge down because hand sewing it would be a waste of time. Sometimes we shelf the bragging rights in favor of speed, and now I can pattern the panes. Last time I just did stripes and thought that would be Gucci, so this time I'm patterning the cheese puff. This is what's left of the embroidered parts of the fabric, so why not use it? There are other cosplays I'd like to remake someday. This one was mostly on impulse, and also I was really disappointed in the result, but the other one I'd want to remake is Knight Lautrec from Dark Souls. I know way more about prop and armor making now, but also he is the coolest Dark Souls 1 character.
That's my opinion!
Anyways, this is also basted to the top of the sleeve, and for the bottom of the cheese puff, a band. The panes are hand sewn to it. The bottom was fabric glued so it wouldn't move, and also hand sewn. Take my word for it, back to the bodice. Now, I know I made the sleeve cheese puff ball part seem really scary, and we just got through it in no video time at all. And to be real with you, the process went so smoothly and needed no do-overs at all on any step, it was scary to me for absolutely nothing. Now that it's got sleeves, I can finalize the front closure for the gold fabric. The plan is for one side to overlap with the other side, as close to the center as possible, and any of the missing hand sewing is finished up. I added some interfacing here too, because it actually gets pinned shut. And finally, the finishing touches. There's this narrow white fabric layer on the top here, so that ruffle fabric from earlier will do. My mom's curtains make a final comeback as I manage to scrounge up enough to make the front bow. Since it sits over the front closure, a pin will do just fine to attach it afterwards. A final ironing and a pocket check and... cool, that's all the footage I got. So I just realized that I actually don't have a nice full body picture from the front of the new one, so very sorry about the side-by-side, but this is what I've got in terms of a side-by-side. I'm trying to get better, okay? Yep, that's back in the day for you. There's still many more improvements that need to be had present day as well. I'm aware of that. So let me show you some of the stuff that perhaps wasn't obvious. Huh. Okay, well, the main thing I want to show you guys is the pocket situation. Now, you know how the petticoat, it tied in the back and at the front, tied in the front and then in the back? Well, that allows there to be like a little opening on the side there when that happens. It sounded really Canadian. Anyways, there's the same exact opening in my like fluffy layers that go over my hoop skirt. Because there was a hoop skirt involved, which is a whole other era in history that doesn't even touch any of the eras used in this. So, you know, it's a, what do you call it? Smorgasbord. S'mores. Hidden in the pleats here, I also opened up the side seam right here, so I can reach my hand in here, and this slit corresponds to the petticoat slit, which corresponds to this one, and then reaches into my pockets. And my pockets, they look like this, and they also tie around my waist. That's about the thing I wanted to show you guys that wasn't really very well explained in the video. So I'm gonna go bring this back now. Now, the three of us all together with the Griffith, the Guts, and the Casca outfit, we all did a shoot with T-Dude at the convention, and it was fantastic. There's such great photos. We were going to do the masquerade together, but we missed the... Not that we didn't miss the deadline to register. It's just kind of a... It's a scramble and rapid refresh race to signing up for the masquerade, and yeah, we didn't get a spot. We didn't get a spot. People were faster. I don't know how they were faster, because I was fast. I was, you know, I was... Because I'm so happy to say that this is the last video that's going to have entirely from start to finish old webcam video. And I'm ready to make a push on the next video. I've already cut the clips. We're going to be looking at how I made the Stroll jacket. I hope that's how you pronounce his name. I don't know. It's like the fourth metaphor refantasio commission. Guys, don't pigeonhole me. Don't pigeonhole me now. Now, before I keep rambling on, thank you so much to my Twitch subscribers. Your support is greatly appreciated. I love chilling with you guys. If you don't know, I stream on Twitch. There's links down below to all kinds of stuff. Okay, on to the next one. Let's go.